Hello everyone, today we're going to make a 2D side-scrolling platformer game on the Godot engine. So in this video will contain the basic of a 2D side-scrolling game, is the map building and the character movement. Without further ado, let's hop into the tutorial. If you haven't downloaded the Godot engine, you can download the Godot engine in the Godot engine website, or you can download on the Steam. And in this video, we will use two of the assets, will be the warrior free animation set and the platformer fantasy sets. First thing first, we're going to need to create our new project. Go to create new project and name your project. I will create a 2D and we will use our renderer as mobile because mobile will use it has less 3D graphics because we're making a 2D game and it supported desktop and mobile. So we will choose our path. I recommend you to make a separate folder for everything such as art, gameplay, scenes or players. So I will create a 2D site folder and we'll select this folder for our use, then create and edit. As you open up, you'll see a lot of things in the screen. So in the file system, you can see everything in the file directory. So you can use asset or put in files here. On the top are the scenes. You can create scenes and put in nodes to make your game. On the top, you will have many types of work environment. So in this video, we're going to use two. It's the 2D. You will see it will be a 2D plane and the script because we're going to write our character and the world in script. And in the inspector, think it of a property of the node. So let's jump right into it. So first we will need to put in our assets, our character assets into the folder. So I will go to the folder and go to open file manager. As you see, this will be all the root file of our project. So we will make a new project. I will call it art. Okay, art. And then we're going to import the two assets that we're using into this folder. So as you see, I imported the two assets into the folder. Then we're gonna exit and it will pop up right in the sides. As you can see, we import our art folder and it will show up in the side. So you can use everything to drag it out like this, but we're not going to use it now. So next thing, after we imported our art, next is to create our scene. Is the scene that we're going to work on it. So we're going to make a 2D scene and we'll rename it as world. Okay, now this will be the scene that we're going to work on. Next, after we make our scene, we need to create a tile. We're going to create a child node and we're going to search for the tile map like this. And you see it will have a new interface under here. It's the tile map. So to use the tile map, we're going to create a new tile set and it will show us a grid like this. If it doesn't show, double check if you use the correct child. After we creating the tile map, we're going to import the tile set from we downloaded to the tile map. So we're going to drag this main level building into the tile. And it will ask you to modify it, so we're going to press yes. As you see, it will have a nice interface of all of the tile that we have been import. So next we can go to the tile map and you see all the tiles. We have selection, you can select every tile. Then we have the draw option. The draw option, you can select the tile and draw it into the map. As you can see, you can draw it everywhere and anything you can draw. So after we imported our tile, next thing we need to do is need to add a physic to it. So what does it mean? If we just draw these tiles, it means that it's just like a plain picture. It doesn't have any physics, anything. And if we use it in the game, our character will fall through the block. It will don't have any blockiness. So to fix that, we're going to go to tile set. I will delete all that. To do that, we'll go to the tile set and go to the inspector of the tile map. We're going to press into the tile set and select physics layer and add element. That means we'll have a element that will define that this will be a collision block. So next we're gonna use the select, and we're going to select all the blocks that we want to make it as a floor. So I will select this block as a floor. Then we go to the physics layer, and you'll see a texture of this block. So the easy way that you can do will be pressing here and select default. It will turn red. That means all this block in this texture will be a collision block. So if we make a character and stand on it, our character won't fall on it. We can also move it around to make it more thing, but for this video it will be easier. Or for the shortcuts for this will be F. So making F can make every block on the ground. Let me just make everything F. Next we're going to tile map, and we're going to draw that asset onto it. So I will select this and just draw a simple plain space to walk on. Okay. After we doing this, we're going to press save, and we're going to save it in the folder. So we're going to create a new folder called world. Okay, then we're going to save in it. After we save in it, we can test run the game. Select current, and as you can see, it will render the blocks that we made. So the next step we're going to do is adding a background. So the very easy way to do is we just drag the picture into the background and just move it on top. It means it's very behind, and just stretch it, and we're just going to test. As you can see, now our background will be in the game, but as you can see, the game look a bit off. It's zooming out a lot. So how are we going to fix that? We're going to fix it by going to the project settings and going to the windows and changing the scale to something else. So for this project, I recommend you to use around 3 or 4. I will be using 4. And do another test run. Now as you see, our game zoom. As you can see, our pixel blocks are a little bit blurry. In the 2D game, we don't want that. So we're going to fix it by going to the project settings and going to the textures, and we change the linear into nearest. And after that, we're going to test another time. If we change it, as you can see, all the pixels in the tile set are better than the last time. So next thing, we have our map, we have our collision, we have our background. Next thing is we're going to create a character. So to do this, we're going to go to our world, create a child node, and search for a character to body 2D. Create. After we create it, you will see it will show a warning message. The body doesn't have a shape. So to fix this, we're going to add another child node into the character body called collision 2D shape. After we created the collision 2D shape, it will also have an error that you need to create a shape first to make it function. So we're going to go to the inspector and select the shape. I will do the basic, is the capsule, and we zoom in. we will going to disable our background for easy view. You will see this will be our character hitbox, so you can move it around to set it whatever you want. So next thing, first we will going to add a sprite to our character. So we will go to the warrior individual sprite and we'll do the basic. We'll do the basic isle. Gonna import it. We're gonna put it into the character 2D. As you can see, we already have our sprite, so we can move our capsule to fit the character. I recommend you to make the bottom of the capsule to fit the leg, so it will look like it's walking. After we create our body and our collision, we're going to add a physic and a movement to it. In the Godot, we will have a template. So to use it, we're going to go to the character body, go to the script and add new script, and check the template blocks and select the basic character movement and tick on the built-in script, and we're going to create it. As you can see, our character will have a template code up, and we're just going to test it. As you can see, our character now have movement, the basic movement, left, right, and jump. So this will be our key tool to edit it. Now, in the character script, we're going to edit something. So the speed character, you can change it to whatever you want, and the jump velocity will be the jump. It is -400 because in the Godot, the y-axis going up, it will be a negative, and the y going down will be a positive. So I will set it to -200 and just going to test it if everything change. Now our character will feel a bit more slower and jump less higher. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a more gravity. So to do this, we're going to go to project setting and search for gravity. So we're going to go to Physic 2D and we're going to change this 980 to something else. I recommend 460 is having, and close, and we're going to test it another time. As you can see, our character now have a little bit higher jump because we tune down our gravity. So next thing we're going to do is to change our default key. The default key of the script will be the arrow keys and the spacebar. So to play, every game has a default key is WASD, as you guys know. So we're going to go to the project setting, input map, and we're going to add an action. I will call it up, down, right, left, and jump. Now you create all the actions, and now we're going to put in the key that corresponds to it. So we're going to add event, and up we'll press W. Now we assign the W key to be up. Now do it to every key. Okay, after we're doing all that, we're going to change the key. So in the code, the UI accept means it was spacebar. We're going to change it into jump. Change it to jump, and left right is left and right, like left and right. Okay, so we're going to test if our key working right now. Now our WASD key and jump will be working as we intended. So next thing we're going to do is add a double jump, because every platformer needs a double jump as I like it. So the first thing we're going to do is add a constant called double jump, because we want that our second jump to be not higher than the first jump. So we're going to make a constant double jump and set the velocity. So I will set it to 100, is half to 100. So we will create it, and now we will going to use this double jump velocity in the code. So we're going to go to function physics process. Physics process will be everything about the physics of the game, the movement, everything. So to make the condition how we're going to double jump. To double jump, we will set it if we are in the sky, if we are floating, that we will assign that I will be able to double jump. So we will going to edit it in the jump section. So you'll see that if I input jump and the character is on the floor, it will do a normal jump. So we're going to add a double jump. So we're going to move this and add a different condition. Is if the character is on the floor, we'll do a normal jump. If the character is on the floor, it will do a normal jump. And we'll add an else not has double jump, because making has double jump, that means our character will only jump once. So we're going to check it. We're going to check if the character has not double jump, and then we were going to add the velocity y to the double jump. So but now we didn't have defined the has double jump. So to fix that, we're going to write it down into here. It will be a variable called has double jump. Has double jump. I will set it to a boolean that has a default as false. So now after we assign it, now it will not go error, and we are going to test it if our double jump work. So this will be our movement. This is one time jump. Now we're going to do a double jump, 2. As you see, our character jump a little bit higher. So this is what we're going to use it into our game. Next thing, we're going to reset our character, that if the character has already double jumped and going to the ground, it will not double jump twice. So to fix that, we're going to add another thing here that we will set has double jump true. I forgot to add, if the character have double jump once, I will set the has double jump into true. My mistake. And this will change it to false. What this means, if the character has not double jumped, the character will double jump and it will set the has double jump to true. That means the character won't be able to double jump twice in a row. So it will not double jump twice. But if the character is on the floor, our character will be resetting this has double jump to make it double jump next time. So we're going to test it. Recommend you to test every time you edit a code, so you can check if you did anything right, anything wrong. So now our character double jumps normally. This is what we're going to do. So next thing, I will make the camera follow the player. As you can see, now the camera is just fixed into one position. If you move your character to the side, you don't see anything. So we'll add another node into the world, a child node called camera 2D. check. We're going to the character, then we're going to add a child node to the character called remote transform 2D. Now the remote transform 2D, it will have a error sign. So to fix this, we're going to go to the remote path in the inspector, then assign a camera 2D to it. Now, okay, after we setting everything, we're just going to test it off if the character moving. You see that our character now our camera move along the player. So you see now the camera just move around. So after we assign the camera to our player, then we test it. As you can see, our camera just follow the player like this. It doesn't really look so good, so we're going to make the camera follow a certain time our character move. So to input it, we're going to go to the camera 2D, go to drag and enable horizontal and vertical on all checkbox, and just run test it. As you can see, our character movement our camera will now follow the player like this. We can set it to move it smoothly, so it will look better. So to do that, we're going to go to the camera 2D, then we're going to go to the position smoothing, and we're going to enable it, and you can set the speed. So what it will do, I will show you. Now our movement, if I move, the camera will follow it smoothly, as you can see. And now you will see our character will be a bit glitchy. It will stutter a little bit. So also how to fix this, we will going to the process callback and change the alter to Physic. What this means is the camera will update every time the character is idle. So we want that if our character move or do anything, the camera will always detect it. So we're going to change it physics, and we're going to test it. As you see, our character will move smoothly, and the camera also smoothly. Now we're done with the camera thing. Now the next thing is the animation, my favorite part of doing a 2D game. So how to do a character animation. So we're going to go to the windows about the character, and we're going to create a child node called animation. Here it is, animated sprite 2D node. So we're going to create it, and now it will show an error like the other things. So it means that we don't have a sprite for the animated. So to fix it, we're going to go to the sprite and going to animation and select a sprite node, create a new sprite. Now if you go to the animated sprite, you will and double click here, we select it. This will be where you animate every frame for your character. So how to do this? There is two ways to animate it. So first, if the sprite you downloaded has a separate file for every frame, you can just drag and drop it. Or if your sprite sheet is a big sprite, so we will going to use this sprite frame sheet. We'll click on it, we'll go to our art, our warrior, and like this sprite sheet, warrior sprite. As you can see, every animation frame, it will be in a one big sprite. So we're going to select just a few things. So you will set the horizon and vertical to splice every picture into a one frame. So in this project, it will be a 6 horizontal and a 17 vertical. As you can see, every frame is now spliced equally. So first we're going to make let's do some idle animation. So we will select everything that's about idle and just add frame. Now you see this, we're going to the 2D framework. Now the old sprite that we're going to test, we will delete it. We don't use now. So go to the animated 2D sprite and just move it to the collision box. Move it up. Okay. Now the sprite that we're going to input, it will show it here, every sprite that we're going to use. So you can play to see what the animation looks like. Here, it will show it in a video. So if you want to make it smoother, you can change the FPS that the animation works. So I will update it to 10 FPS. Now our character will move smoothly. So I will rename it into idle. Okay. Now our character now has one animation, is the idle animation. So now what we're going to do, we will add more animation. In this project, I will add 6 new animations. Will be animation idle, animation for run, and animation for jumping. Jumping, I will do 3 separate animation. It will be a jump, a normal jump, jump start, I will call it jump start, a falling animation, and a double jump animation. Double jump. And the last one, I will make it a jump loop. I will call it jump loop. Okay, now we're going to add every frame to our animation. I just add every frame to our animation, so we're going to test it. Go to animated sprite, going to check everything. Now this will be our double jump. This will be our double jump. This will be our falling animation. This will be jump start animation, a jump loop animation, and the run animation. So we're going to set our default animation into a idle animation. So we're going to hit it to autoplay it. Now we're going to turn off every animation looping. Going to turn this off and off. Okay, now you have a full set of the basic movement of our character. So now we're going to test it. Okay, as you see, our player will have a default animation, will be the idle animation. So you can move around, but the animation didn't switch. So the next section of the video will be about to add the animation into the coding. So now to the scripting. We're going to add a script to the game to use every animation that we just input. So to use the animation sprite, we're going to write a code. It will be on ready variable animated sprite. I'm gonna add a colon, animated sprite 2D that we made, and it will and a $sign animated sprite 2D. What this will do is it will take the animated sprite node and turn it into a variable, so we can call it and use all the animation we made. So after we're doing this, we will going to make a code to use all it. So we're going to make a function. So we use the function update. What this do is every time a character do something, it will update an animation to do it. So first we're going to make a function update. So before we're going to add anything, I'm going to add a variable two more variable, a variable direction. Variable direction, we're going to set it as a vector. I will tell you why we're going to set it as a vector. As a vector, 0.0. And another variable called variable animation log. Animation log, we will set it as a boolean and a default as a false. So what these two things going to do? In the previous coding, all the movement will be based on the axis. It will be just x and y. It will get a y, it will get a y and get an x. So we change it into we're going to change the direction into a vector. Now the vector that we just write going to have four variables. It will have a x plus, x minus, y plus, y minus for every direction that we are moving. So we're going to delete this variable direction and we're going to change the get axis to a get vector. Get vector. Now after we add get vector, we need to add two more variables. It will be a up and a down. Okay, now after we fixing this, the next thing we're going to do is going to write it in the function, going to make a if not animation log. So what does animation log do? It means if, for example, our character is jumping, the jump loop animation are only, the jump start is only 4 frames. So the jump log animation, what it do is it prevents the character from switching the animation. So for example, our default is idle. If I jump in the air and it just all frames done, it will reset into the idle. So we will don't do that. It looks weird. So we're going to define a animation log. Then we're going to set it if our character move its direction is not equal to the vector 2.0. And what it will do, it will play an animation sprite that we just made .play, and we're going to play a idle animation. This means if our character is AFK, is not moving anything, it will be idle. And we're going to make an else if our direction is, I will change it, equal to else, then it will be play animated.sprite.play a running animation. So it will get an error here because our direction will not now be a x and y. It will have 4 different axes. So to fix this, we're going to edit the direction to only call the x. So we're going to change it to direction x. It means we are going to use the left and right. We don't use the up and down. So change everything that is have only direction. So direction x, this we will change the vector 0 to just a normal 0. So now we're going to test it if our character has a run animation. Oops, wait, not running. Every time we make a function, we're going to need to call that function to use it. So we're going to call the function update and we're going to test it another time. Let's try. Now our character will have the opposite things. I just made a mistake here. So if the character is moving, it will play a run animation, but if our character is standing still or do nothing, it will do a idle animation. So we're going to test it. Okay, now our character standing still will be idle. Now we're going to walk left and right. As you can see, our character now has an animation of running left and right, but as you can see, our character just moves backwards. It runs to the left backward. So by fixing this, we're going to flip our character. How are we going to do that? We need to create another function, a function called update facing. Okay, update facing. We're going to write it if direction dot x is going to the x plus axis is more than 0. That means our character is moving to the right. We're going to play a animated sprite. We're going to flip it. So we're going to call a flip h. Flip h is flip horizontal. I will call it as a false. Okay, now we're going to do the opposite. Else if the direction x is less than 0, it means it's going to the right. We're going to animate that sprite flip h to be true. Okay, gonna save every time. Then now we're going to call the function. Don't forget to call the function. Update facing. After we calling the jump update facing function, we're going to test it. So okay, now you see moving left to right. Now the character is facing the correct way. So we're going to finish it. But as you can see, if I'm jumping, the character is not doing the jumping animation. It will do the jump in the air, running and jumping. So what we're going to do next is going to add a function called jump. A function called jump, and we were going to set it to set the velocity, the y-axis to a jump velocity, and play animated sprite. Play a jumping animation. Going to jump start. Okay. Now after we're going to set this, we're going to add an animation lock to be true. What this means is if the character jumping in the air, the other animations will not collide. So if the character jumping, so I will show an example. Oh, forget. So we set this. We didn't call the jump function, so we're going to call the jump function in the physics process. So in the input jump, if the character is on the floor, we're going to set the velocity y into just to call the jump. So we're going to test it. As you can see, our character, if it jumps, it will going to play a jump animation and it will freeze. That means our animation lock is working now. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a land function. So we're going to also make a function called falling. So our animation, we called it falling. So falling, we're going to play an animated sprite. Play. Okay, let's type play into a falling animation and just set the animation sprite animation lock into true. So okay, we're going to save it. Now after we're setting this up, we're going to add another variable called variable air. So what this variable do, it will check that if the character is in the air, can it play the falling animation. So gonna set this as a boolean false, then we're going to use it in our on the floor, adding gravity. So after the character is flying and it will going down, I will make a check if I'm going to add it as a check if our in air variable equals to true. Then if the character is true, then we're going to set it as a false. And we're going to also call in air animation equals true. So here, if the character is not on the floor, it will pull down the gravity and it will tell the game that now our character is in the air. And else it means if our character is going down. If the character has double jumps, will be false, and if the character is still in the air, it will play a falling animation. So now we're going to test it. Now, as you can see, our character, if I jump and going to fall, it will play the fall animation, as you can see. Now the fall animation also has the animation lock. So that's normal if you see it freeze like this. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to make a animation finish. So how to do this, you can go to the animation finish like here. You go double click and you're going to connect it. If you connect it, now it will has another function pre-built in called animation function on animated sprite to the finish. So what this means is what we're going to do with this is if our character has done something, jump, and we finish the jump, it will reset the animation back to the default one, is the idle. So to do this, we're going to check if the animation sprite dot animation is equals to, let's say, falling. Fall. I think what to fall. Then after doing this, after checking it, I will unlock the animation. So go to animation lock equals false. Save. Okay. After we doing that, we going to edit something here. Is after the character finish falling, is now on the ground, we're going to set the in air equals to false. So now we're going to test the falling animation. So going to play it. As you can see, our player just freeze. What? I just mistyped falling. So we're gonna test it another time. So as you can see, if I jump and the falling animation will do, it will delay it a little bit. So we can fix this by just fiddling with the sprites. So I will do just one frame. Let's try. It will look better. So test it. If I jump and going down, as you can see, our character just makes a small knee down animation. So this is okay for me. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a falling loop. What this means, if we're going to test it, if I just run the character and fall off the cliff. Let's say here, I fall off the cliff. Now our character is just not falling, it just turns back into the idle animation. Now we want this to be, it will be a looping until we hit the ground. So to do this, we're going to update, we're going to do it in the function update. So we're going to add another if clause here, a if not If not is on floor, that means our character is still not on the floor. We're going to play animation sprite dot play a jump loop. Then everything will be an else just with one time. So now we're going to try to throw our character off a cliff to see if the animation is looping. So whoop. Now see, our character is now doing the looping animation, is what we wanted. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to add another if clause here. So now we're going to change it. If the character is jump, if the character has jump, it's called jump start. And you can check all the name of the variable, go to sprite frames. So jump start. So also if the character animation jumps, then just animation unlock the animation. So now you have a basic movement of your character, but we didn't use our double jump yet. Now our character is just doing something weird. So we're going to add a double jump. So to add a double jump, we're going to call another function called double jump. For the call of double jump, we're going to make a velocity y to the double jump velocity. Double jump velocity going to play an animated sprite. Gonna play a double jump animation, and we're going to animation lock it. Animation lock it to true. And we're going to set a double jump has double jump, right? It has double jump into true. Okay, after we write this function, we're going to call this function into our jumping physics. So here, if our character is on floor, we're going to jump. If has not double jumped yet, we're going to delete all this and we're going to just call it double jump. Okay, now we're going to test it if our animation jumping works. So we're going to try it. Now our character just do a little bit more animation, like jump, leg twitching. So next, if finish doing the double jump, we're going to make another finish animation to here. We're going to change the double jump start into a double jump, so it will unlock the looping. So we're going to change it to double jump. I think I called it double jump. Okay, we're going to double jump and unlock the animation. So after we're doing this, we're going to test. See, now our character is now fully movable and have a smooth camera moving. So this will be today's guide to making moving characters and the basic of the maps. So you can implement everything that can be made here. You can make a cliff or make some obstacles with all the nodes, all the sprite, or you can add a combat system. So you can add combat, add enemies. So in future videos, maybe we're going to add some enemies and some objectives to do, like collecting coins. So I hope this video of ours help you in your game development journey. I would appreciate some likes and subscribe, and thanks for watching this video.